Hi, this is Dan Gilvazan, and you're listening to the GeekCast Radio Network.
Cliff Jumper, commence countdown. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And now, ToyCast. Oh, yes. Listening to the only toy podcast you will ever need.
This is ToyCast. I am your host, TFG and Mike. Joining me is Steve. Shut up!
I seriously thought you were going to be like, this is Jeopardy!
So as you people can tell, Optibotimus is here.
Oh, hi.
Jackass of all trades.
And master of none.
Exactly. And we also have Steve Megatron.
Hello.
Hello.
Unceremoniously introduced. I feel bad now. I screwed up the whole thing.
Yes.
Deleted.
I'm just going to stop talking right now.
Yes, you should.
Or not.
Okay. So we are here in episode 89 to talk about the 1989 Batman, Tim Burton, Michael Keaton film, the action figures and the toy line from that film by Toy Biz, because the Kenner stuff didn't happen till the second movie. So, Steve, what do you remember from having these toys as a kid?
I remember owning quite a few different incarnations of Batman himself.
Mm-hmm.
I remember having, granted it's not from the first film, but it's, I had the Batmobile. But I did have the Michael Keaton likeness of the Bruce Wayne to Batman conversion costume.
Cool.
You sound really excited when you said that, Mike. You're
Shut the hell up.
Cool.
What else did you have, Steve?
I had the Joker figure, actually.
Yeah, I'm looking at a picture of Joker, and it doesn't look too good.
No, it wasn't. I actually broke his arm off. And he remained that way until I pawned him, and then I bought the actual good Joker figures that had nothing to do with the films.
Yes. What about you, Paul? What do you remember from collecting these toys?
You know what? When it comes to the Toy Biz ones, I don't remember having anything from them.
The funny thing is, I've been scouring the internet before we started recording this podcast. I've only been able to find the Batman figure, the Joker figure, Bob the Goon, and the Batmobile, and the Batcave playset. That's the only images I've been able to find. So I'm thinking that's all that Toy Biz made. They made
a Joker mobile.
Right. They made a Joker van, and they made a Joker cycle, and they made a
I had the Joker cycle.
Yeah.
I know. God, I'm trying to. I pulled up pictures myself just to kind of look at them again. I remember. Did that Joker squirt?
Yes, the one did.
Yes.
Not the bike one. The other one did. He
no,
had like
yeah,
a
well,
yellow.
the one, the ugly looking one, the one that doesn't even look like the movie one. I remember having that. I never had Bob. Batman. I don't necessarily see. The biggest problem is, I remember having that Batmobile. In fact, I probably had it not too terribly long ago. I want to say that I had it when I moved here in California, and then it was in a big bag of stupid toys that I had that I'm like, I don't want these anymore, and I threw them away. And that was several years ago, and I had that Batmobile in there, but it was in terrible shape.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say if it was in like mint and box, I would have killed you.
No, 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 no.
Okay, okay.
It was. I mean, the biggest thing is, as a kid, I mean, I played with my stuff. I mean, my stuff was
Yeah.
really all sorts of worn out from play. So, I mean, I don't remember. The biggest problem that I have is like a lot of this Batman stuff. I get wrapped up in getting them confused with the stuff that I eventually really had, and that was the Kenner stuff.
Right. The Kenner stuff came with like Batman Returns Forever and Batman and Robin.
Right.
And
But
like
but that being said, even I mean they even went back and covered. I mean they were rebranded, but
yeah,
they went back and they covered the first movie stuff.
yeah,
You know, like I mean we see this ugly Joker from Toy Biz, and then the Kenner Joker, which came out in the Batman Returns line and then the Dark Knight line and all that other crap. You know, that one is the more Jack Nicholson looking Batman or Joker figure, but that wasn't in the first movie. So, or in the first wave of those toys. Well,
right.
I shouldn't even call them first wave, but first branding of those toys. So, in my mind, I always get kind of confused between the two because even to this day, I mean, I have a couple of them still, and I mean, I recently went and bought a few of them and made them part of the little retro review thing that I was doing there for a little bit, and I love those little things. They're fun. They are. I mean,
No,
really,
I agree. I'm not disagreeing with you. I agree. They are fun.
I mean, the whole the Joker one that I had, was super fun. I mean, I think I actually did it in my retro review where I dunked his head in water and I changed his face color. It turns his face pink. It doesn't make it flesh color, but it's. I mean, so you can have a white face or a color changing face. I mean that's cool stuff, dude. I ain't even playing. That's cool shit, yo. Word. Gangsta.
Oh,
Word to your Joker.
Word.
my God.
Joker. But I mean, other than that, I mean the Toy Biz stuff. I mean, I remember a lot of the Toy Biz stuff as being kind of really kind of cheesy and very blah.
Yeah, it was. I mean, the Batmobile is probably the best part about the Toy Biz line.
Yeah.
It just is.
Right. I mean, and it's. I mean, looking at here. I mean, a lot of these Toy Biz things were carried over from the previous Toy Biz Superpower collection figures, and
Right.
I mean, those are. I mean, I see them every now and then here and there. I mean, I go to a local collector show sort of thing, and I go through there and I see a lot of them still. And when I look at them, I just instantly think cartoon, just really, really cartoonish.
Yeah.
And that's,
Yeah.
but I mean, it gave way to better stuff.
Yeah, for me, like I said, I had the not Jack Nicholson Joker from the Toy Biz line. I had the Batman. I think I had multiples of Bob the Goon because I think at the time, at least in my area in Massachusetts, Bob the Goon was a shelf warmer, which is really weird now because he is like super rare now.
Yeah, he's a tough one.
Yeah. I had the Batmobile. I had the Shields. I know I've told this story before, but tell it again. My mom and I were going to the Kingston Mall, and it was like, I don't know, a week before my birthday or something, and I saw the Batmobile in there, and I really, really wanted it. Ended up throwing a temper tantrum. Obviously, I didn't get it till a week later on my birthday, but
So kids, that's what you do if you want
yes.
something. Throw a temper tantrum.
Yes,
and then
yes, yes.
Mommy and Daddy will say,
Yeah.
"Fuck you so
Anyway, so I had the Batmobile. I absolutely loved the Batmobile. It was so cool. Even though the shield thing, it was designed in the way that it looked in the movie, it was just a piece of plastic, and usually mine probably would have ended up getting ripped or bent or something like that. But just having that extra accessory was really, really awesome. I think we're going to shift gears onto what the toy company that does so much and costs a house payments to get a toy from them.
Oh, for the love of God!
um,
Not that
Oh,
bad.
this is beautiful.
we're gonna talk about Hot Toys and their high scale Batman, Joker, Batmobile. Um, the Batmobile from Hot Toys looks freaking amazing.
Yeah.
It just does. I know I'm probably going to put at least one of these images, probably the one with a shield in it, in the web post. But I mean, it look. Oh my God! If we had this as a kid, oh man, this would have made playtime so much better as kids because this thing is freaking awesome. I know.
For people that aren't familiar with Hot Toys, I mean, who isn't? But I mean, realistically,
Right.
Hot Toys make adult collectibles in a 1/6 scale, which basically means they're roughly about 12 inches tall when it comes to the figures themselves.
Right.
I mean, assuming that the average male is like 6 feet tall, 1/6 scale would mean the figures are about 12 inches tall. So,
Right.
The Batman for it. I mean, you and I have talked about this, privately before, Mike. That the '89 Batman, and even Batman Returns, things of that nature. That's my favorite incarnation of Batman. So when I first saw that they were doing these Hot Toys, I hadn't had any Hot Toy figures at that time. I mean, yes, they're very expensive, and they're very big. That for me is the biggest downfall for Hot Toy figures because they're so big, they take up so much space, and they're pretty expensive. The Batman figure alone is $250, and now you get I mean, people be like, "Oh, that's so expensive." I mean, you got to take into consideration that yes, they're 12 inches tall, they're articulated up the wazoo. The sculpt and likeness on these things are unmatched by anything. The accessories that go with them.
For Christ's sake, I mean, look at the Batman on here. It's got Keaton's chin.
Oh yeah, I mean, there is. The amazing thing is that chin is. I mean, there's 3 different. I think it's three different chin pieces, and they're held on. I don't know if they're actually held on magnetically, but that chin can actually remove, and then you can swap out the different faces, or different flesh part of the face. 'Cause, the actual cowl doesn't remove or anything. But if you just take that chin piece, and anybody around our age, if we went up to them and we just showed them that chin piece, I would guarantee you that 9 out of 10 people would know who that is or who it's supposed to be, just by showing from like the nose down to the chin. I mean, that little bit right there. That's how amazing the detail is on these things. So $250, yes, it's pretty expensive, but when you consider the amount of detail that goes into it, all the accessories that go along with it, I mean, hell, this figure has that iconic scene in the movie, where Joker's like, where does he get these wonderful toys? He's got that thing, he sticks it in. What the hell was that noise?
Just keep going.
Oh, he's where Batman swoops in to save Vicky Vale, and he pulls out like this gun-looking thing and points it at Joker's face, pushes the button, and then all of a sudden, like, it springs out to the side, and then it blows out giant string things that he swoops away with. Yeah. The actual toy has that feature where those little prong things can actually swivel out to the side. And I'm like, that's just a wonderful touch that they didn't need to do. Yeah. And I think it's awesome. Now, you look at the Batmobile. Now, and again, this Batmobile is my favorite version of the Batmobile ever created. Even going back, I mean, as a kid, I had that Batmobile from the Toy Biz line.
Right.
Always wanted the subsequent released Batman Returns Kenner version, which featured the Bat Missile. I like that a little bit more because the one that I didn't one of the reasons I didn't care for the Toy Biz one was because it didn't have that cockpit top. That's what we'll call it. We'll call it the cockpit top. It just had the open. It had a windscreen in the front and had an opening. It was very much like all the other Batmobiles in the past. And one thing that I liked about this was I mean, even when I saw the movie, I love the fact that it had a canopy that came up and covered the actual cockpit. I thought that was really cool. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. Because why would I understand, it's nice to have it where you can jump out, when you're what the hell's that dude's name? The old Batman,
Adam West.
Adam West. Thank you. It makes sense that you don't have a top so you can get in and out of it, but it's like, you should have like a door or something. But that one was always retarded and expensive to get, And then you look at this one here, and they have it. It slides back and forth just like it did in the movie. Hell, it's got an actual display stand that replicates how it was in the Batman Returns movie when he would, want to turn, like if he was facing one way. And obviously, the Batmobile can't make dramatic turns, on a dime. So he's got like this hydraulic piston that comes out from the bottom of it, lifts the car, rotates it, drops it back down, and he can drive off in, a completely different direction in a matter of seconds. They include that with this thing. Now, the biggest problem is this thing is like $600.
Yeah.
But again,
you're
that's
$600 of a toy that has literally, essentially that's almost like having the real Batmobile.
Yeah. I was, in terms of dimensions, I don't remember how big it is, but if I'm not mistaken, it lights up, it's got all that stuff, but the most impressive thing about this is you're literally going to need like a coffee table to display this.
It's so badass looking though.
Yeah. I usually don't, plug other YouTubers because I hate all other YouTubers. I should be the only one on YouTube. But I watched a video that Sean Long did, and he was at, I want to say it was last year's Comic-Con. And
I think that's what it was.
And he was standing next to it. Now, I've personally been next to Sean, and he's a pretty small dude. He like comes up to like my mid-chest, and I'm like 6'3". So he's like 5'8" or something like that.
Yeah.
This thing, I'm sitting here watching it, I'm like, Sean, you could probably crawl in there and drive away. This thing is massive. And not only, all the other Batmobiles, I don't remember, Steve, you said that you had the Bat Missile one. Did that hold two people? Did that hold two, action figures? It just held one action figure.
Yep.
Now, okay, that's the same thing as the Toy Biz one. This Hot Toys one, holds two people. So there's actually, there's a picture here, where you can see Batman, and there's a whole nother half of the car, where if they ever came out with a Vicky Vale, you could sit her next to Batman, and it's uberific. I don't even know how to describe it. The detail on here is phenomenal. You look at on the inside, the cockpit, all the buttons and everything inside there. It's silly how good this thing looks. I'm in love, and it comes with the cocoon for you, Mike.
Yeah,
the cocoon actually with that on top of it, it looks like the animated series Batmobile.
It absolutely does. Yeah, I was just on that picture, and I was looking as you were saying that. I'm looking at that picture, and then I looked over at my shelf to the animated, because I had the animated Batmobile, and I'm like, oh. That's crazy. Now, it makes me wonder. A lot of the animated movie, you get a lot of influence from the 89 and, 91 Batman, or 92? Was it 91?
92 was Batman
92.
Returns.
Yeah. So, there's a lot of influence in the Batman animated series.
Yeah.
From these. And, even with the toys that subsequently came out, there's a lot of that same kind of feel, obviously. But,
yeah.
This isn't a toy. This is not a toy by any stretch.
No, this is a display piece.
Oh yeah, this is something that, pictures will be taken of this thing, and it will be added to my insurance policy. That's just how it goes. But even the Batman figure itself, I'm planning on ordering mine next week, and probably won't take too terribly long. I hopefully get it sometime next week, or the week after or whatever. But everything about it just absolutely looks wonderful. And then I found out that, I don't know if you know about this, Mike, but they're also releasing a Batman Returns version of Batman, which kind of makes sense. I mean, they already have the whole body and everything, and the only thing that's really different is he's got a different Batman logo. The chest piece is different,
Right.
and then the whole abdomen area. I mean, it was a little bit different in the Batman Returns movie, so they're redoing it. Now, I've heard rumor that, and again, I mean, this you know, it's hard to really tell because there's a picture of Batman sitting in this Batmobile. Somebody that I know actually said that they spoke with Hot Toys and heard that this version of Batman will not fit inside this Batmobile.
The current version that they're releasing, or
the current Batman that I from the '89 Batman movie, that Batman will not fit in the upcoming Batmobile because you can't get his hips because his outer body is covered in like a rubber.
right?
And his articulation is limited, and you can't bring his legs up enough to actually be in a decent sitting position to fit inside that. Now, the rumor
So then,
is,
who are they showing in the picture on the Facebook page?
that's my argument towards it. When this guy was telling me this, I'm like, well, there's somebody sitting in there. He's like, I don't know, dude. I'm just telling you what I was told. I'm like, he's like, they're releasing another Batman that will fit in it. And I'm like, well, that kind of makes sense because they just announced that they're going to be making a Batman Returns Batman. But I mean, it doesn't really matter to me which Batman I get. I prefer the '89 one because I like the chest piece. It doesn't look as square and robotic. I mean, it looks like actual musculature, whereas the Batman Return one actually looks like it's armor kind of. It's like blocky abs instead of the rounded ones. I just prefer this one a little bit more, but I don't know. I mean, so we're gonna have to wait and see. And the only person that I know of that really has done a halfway decent job reviewing the '89 Batman is Sean Long, and so I can't really confirm whether or not his hip articulation is really that limited. But hopefully, in a week or so, I'll be able to tell you for sure.
Yes. Now, the one thing for me, just looking at these, and I'll link all this stuff in the post on geekcastradio.com, but just looking at all these pictures, looking at the Batman pictures, looking at the Joker pictures, looking at the Batmobile pictures, it's like these makers at Hot Toys, these people that have been working on these things, it's like they traveled back in time to 1989 and just were on the set of the movie, or they stuck a bunch of people in a room and forced them to watch the '89 film over and over and over again until it was born into their heads what these designs are supposed to look like, because they're so lifelike, even though they're just toys. I mean, it's just amazing.
Use freeze frame, bitch.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about how good that Batman looks, and the Batman
Joker. I mean, it's almost like they photo captured Jack Nicholson back in 1989, even though I know they didn't do that.
Yeah, I mean, I seriously look at this, and I'm waiting. Like, I'm looking at this picture of Joker standing here. He's smiling. He's holding up a little Joker card. I'm seriously waiting for him to turn around and move. Or like there's this scene here where he's standing with like all this money in his hand, and there's like the actual movie scene in the background, like a photograph of the movie. And I'm looking at this Jack Nicholson Joker figure, and it looks like the real person.
It does. It looks so real.
I mean, it's ridiculous how amazing it looks.
Steve, thoughts?
Yeah, that thing is so disturbingly accurate. It's downright scary.
Yeah.
I do know that if they weren't so damn expensive, I would get them. But yeah, that's.
Come on, do it. Just save some money and do it.
I have other things that I'm trying to commit to, like going to TFCon.
Oh, why do you want to go there?
Because I've never been to it.
Scott McNeil?
Yes.
Oh.
And because I've never been to a Transformers convention, so.
Yeah. Anyway, back to Batman.
But anyways, yeah, this is so disturbingly accurate. I could definitely see where you'd think that he'd come spring to life
Yeah.
Just don't put him in the Indian in the cupboard.
Oh, yeah. That'd be fun.
I could see you bringing all your toys to life.
I would totally do it too.
We'd have the War of Cybertron going on.
Pretty much.
Oh my god.
No, we'll just do small soldiers.
Oh boy.
I would probably do. Oh man, I'd probably do everything. I'd have all my Ninja Turtles in there. Now the cool thing is, we're talking about all this stuff. Now these are the DX versions of these figures,
Right.
Batman and Joker. Would just basically a deluxe version, which means it comes with a whole lot more accessories. And I also think it comes with something that's called like PERS or something like that. Basically, what you can do is the eyes are even articulated, so you can rotate. You can take a little piece off of like their head or something and rotate their eyes. I know the Batman does. He's got like a little piece that goes on the back of his head. It kind of looks ugly from the back because it just breaks up that uniform look of his cowl. But you can actually take and like move the eyes around and just emote him, these figures in ways that is just almost unnatural. I mean,
They've got that with the
so
Joker
cool.
too.
Yeah, because you can look at some of those and he's like his head is tilted down and he's looking up at you and he's got that big grin and just everything about it is wonderful.
Yeah, this is just freaking disturbing as all hell.
And it's so amazing too, just because of, and yes, they are deluxe figures and whatever else, and that's great. But there's a difference between a Hot Toys deluxe figure and a Transformers deluxe figure.
No, well, yeah, I mean, yeah, well, they refer to two totally different things. Deluxe refers to the size scale. Deluxe with this just means. A regular one wouldn't come with all the accessories.
Right, exactly.
Deluxe one just means that it comes with the maximum amount. I mean, kind of speaking about Hot Toys, I was looking at the Hot Toys version of Raiders of the Lost Ark Indiana Jones, and that's a deluxe one, and it comes with all sorts of things for Indy. I mean, everything that you could possibly think of that he had in that movie, he comes with. And that's basically all that the term deluxe means when it comes to these guys.
And it's so real, and it's just amazing, just freaking amazing.
I honestly don't even. I mean, looking at Batman, Joker, all of these. I honestly don't even know how I'm going to pose any of these guys. Because
that's the thing. It's like
different poses you can do.
Yeah, I mean, there's and that's the beautiful thing about Hot Toys is there's like a million different combinations. You can have Joker holding one of his remotes in one hand and his gun in the other, or you can have his his right hand as a fist hand or something like that. Same thing with Batman.
There's a picture I just pulled up right now. I mean, the articulation on this thing is even so damn good that. In the scene where Joker makes his return and he kills
Grissom.
Yeah. The one and only Carl Grissom. When he kills him and he's jumping around, there's actually a part where he's holding his hat and he puts his hand behind his back, and
he shoots him. Yeah, there's
you can actually pose your figure like that, and it's like. Come on, it's not even fair. I mean, the only thing that would make this better, in my opinion, is if this Joker actually physically came with blow up versions of his giant balloons.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that I could think of that would make this better.
Yeah. It's just so awesome.
But I mean, he comes with guns, he comes with hands, he comes with gas masks, megaphones, different jackets.
That's why we need a Vicky Vale, because he came with the gas mask. I'm sure there's somewhere out there, some sort of toy line has a table and chairs that these figures could sit at.
Yeah. I mean, Hot Toys isn't, I mean, it's not impossible for them to do environments. I mean, they've done environments for Indiana Jones. You know, the whole map room from Raiders of the Lost Ark. They completely did a 1/6 scale version of the map room from that movie. So, hell, I want to put it past them to do something like that. I want to put it past them to do the Batcave. You know, at least the main area where he sits down and has all of his computer screens. Hell, that would be an instant buy for me as well.
Yeah. Steve, any other thoughts?
I would have to say that these, I mean, granted, technology's come a long way since these toys, but I would have to say that this Batman movie was probably my favorite out of the old ones.
Yeah.
Along with the toys associated with it.
Yeah.
So, and I can definitely agree that this costume is probably the best one out of them, and holy crap, that's scary.
Is that freaky?
You can see like and for those not knowing what we're looking at, it's a picture of the Joker up close and personal.
Oh yeah, I'll be putting this in the post so people will know.
Yeah, so I mean,
there's veins in his eyes.
I know.
It's so freaking creepy. You know, the thing about the Batman movies is that, as I said, like the whole point we did this episode at episode 89 was to talk about the 89 movie and the 89 movie toys. And obviously we've talked about the hot toys that are based off the 89 film. But for me, even as a kid, not just now as a old crotchety guy, it's one of those things where as a kid, the 89 stuff was the only toys that I actually liked. I loved the films as a kid. I loved seeing Returns, Forever, and slightly to a lesser degree, Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin is such a bad rap.
Well, the only reason why I personally like it is because it's Alicia Silverstone in a Batgirl suit. But anyway, the toys that came from Returns, Forever, and Batman and Robin, the toys in the 89 movie were, hey, here's a sort of replica toy, here's a toy of this character from this movie, or here's a Batmobile from the movie. The other ones, the other 4 lines, or the other 3 lines, they just get so cheesy to me. Like, hey, it's Arctic Batman and the Arctic Batmobile, or it's this, or it's that. Yeah. It went back to, and it's because I think it's because it switched from Toy Biz to Kenner. It's because, like, hey, we're a toy company. We have to promote our toys. So let's, do a toy thing and make Arctic this and Red Sun that. And
well,
this,
from a toy company, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, the more,
right.
I mean, you got to play to the kid's imagination. And, if a kid wants to sit there and, take his Batman and have an adventure with him at some point in time fighting Joker, or not, let's not even say Joker. I just have Joker's creepy ass face up on my computer. Say a kid's imagining that he's fighting Mr. Freeze and he has to go to the Arctic. Well,
right.
Hey, here's an Arctic Batman that the kids can buy.
Oh no, yeah, no, I'm not knocking.
I agree. I mean,
fact that
it got ridiculous, but as a kid, you gotta love it. As an adult, obviously, but even to this day, in my display, I don't even remember what it's called, but it's the it's from Kenner, but it's the repainted version of Batman where he's got a gold suit. I don't even remember.
Oh yeah, it's Gold Suit Batman. I don't remember what it was for, but yeah,
I just love the way that looks.
Yeah, and I agree. I did love the way Gold Suit of Batman looked, but I don't know. Even as a kid, when I would see the commercials about the Arctic Batmobile or the Arctic this, the Arctic that, or whatever else, or all these other repaints, I'm like, really? I mean, it's repaints are repaints. Every company does repaints.
You were a kid that didn't have an imagination.
Shut the hell up. So, anything else? Because if not, we're gonna go to a break.
Go to a break.
Go break your face, fool.
Break it down.
You sound like a dead seal, Paul.
You can now hear the GeekCast Radio Network while on the go with Stitcher Smart Radio. Stitcher is a free-use and talk mobile app available for your smartphone. And when you download Stitcher to hear GeekCast Radio, you'll have a chance to win money. Downloading is quick and easy. Just find Stitcher in the App Store. During registration, hit the promo code BOX and enter GeekCast Radio, all one word, to get automatically entered to win $100. The latest episodes of the shows will be waiting for you in your favorites. You'll get access to lots of other amazing shows too. Always available to you on demand, no syncing. It's Stitcher Smart Radio. Don't forget to enter promo code GeekCast Radio when you register.
So we are back here on ToyCast, and, overall, I still love the old Toy Biz stuff, even though there wasn't that much of it. I kind of like some of the Kenner stuff. It is kind of cool, but whatever. Steve, final thoughts?
The Toy Biz stuff, it's meh, but, I prefer when they went to the Kenner stuff much more. But I did have a few of them. They weren't totally bad, but I mean, it's not like it was like Big Lots brand or something. But but yeah, it's fine overall. I mean, for what it was at the time.
Yeah. Paul, final thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, we have the luxury of being able to look at this through the
rose-rimmed glasses, yes.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have the luxury of a 20-year filter to look through this or look at this stuff at, and like you said there, Steve. Back in the day, they were great. I mean, but it was, not something that was going to be able to last. So, but that's true about anything. I mean, I like those old toys. Like I said, they reminded me of the cartoon too much, and the whole superheroes. What was that show called? I remember watching that
Challenge
show.
of the Super Friends.
Is that what it was?
Yes,
that's what the old show was.
That might be what it was. I just remember always them having like fights against people that were like in this half head looking thing that was in a swamp. That's all I remember. So some of those toys, kind of sucked. They brought them in, and I bet that a lot of it just had to do with the fact that as Kenner got it, they didn't have enough time to do stuff for the '89 movie itself, so they just kind of rebranded some stuff.
Right.
Then by the time the Dark Knight, Batman Returns came around, they had enough time to actually do some stuff, so they went back and covered some stuff that they probably would have liked to have done for the first movie, but didn't have the time to do it. So I'm happy that Kenner got it, because I think we got some pretty good toys. I mean, I still look at those Batman figures that Kenner put out, and they look more accurate to Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson than a lot of toys nowadays that are supposed to resemble on-screen personas that aren't made by NECA.
Right. Well, I think we haven't really come to this conclusion. I'm going to now. For me, with any franchise, no matter what has toys, as soon as Hot Toys touches it and does what they do, becoming a Hot Toys license and becoming a Hot Toys figure is like Optimus Prime being a masterpiece in Transformers. I mean, that's the ultimate goal to reach for any other franchise, is to have Hot Toys make you a figure.
Screw that. I want a life-size version of them that I can pose in my bedroom.
Well, you live in California. I'm sure you can hunt down Michael Keaton and just kidnap him or batnap him.
I could probably do that.
Yes.
You just sit here and just be like, I'm Batman, every couple of minutes.
Yeah.
Who are you?
All right.
I'm Batman.
You want to pimp out your YouTube channel, Paul?
It is...
Or your multiple YouTube channels?
Nah, just Optobotamus, youtube.com/Optobotamus.
Who's Botamus?
Bot mine. What? Your mama?
Oh, God.
I swear, that's all I got. The whole Yo
Thank
Mama
you.
thing. That's all I got. I'm still stuck in the 90s.
Yes,
You're lucky
yes,
I don't. You're lucky I don't break out the Yo Mama so fat jokes.
You just did. Anyway, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for joining us here on ToyCast. There are several ways to get in contact with us to leave feedback for the show. Visit the website, geekcastradio.com. You can comment on each episode post, and I'm sure we will engage with you. And if you make a stupid comment, we will call you an asshat. You can also email us, feedback at geekcastradio.com. Leave the show's feedback in iTunes. Please do this. Follow us on Twitter. The short name there is TFToycast. Mine is TFG and Mike. Paul, what is your Twitter?
Just Optibotamus. It's very simple. It's me everywhere.
Steve?
Burnt toast.
Bert?
No, not Burt Toast. Burnt Toast.
Burnt.
Steve, what's your
Burnt.
Twitter?
SCP-21.
Become a fan on Facebook. Go to facebook.com/Geekcast Radio Network and facebook.com/Team Botamus. Call the voicemail line. Tell us a show that you message for and your name. 502-526-5821. If you have your own microphone on your computer, you can go to the website.
Hey, is that a shot at me?
If you have your own microphone or headset with a microphone, you can go to geekcastradio.com. On the right-hand side, there is a button that says Send Voicemail. You can send us a voicemail directly from your computer. We hope you enjoyed this episode of ToyCast and wish you'll join us next time, which I have no idea what episode 90's topic is going to be because this was the last of the topical shows that I had
Yo
planned.
Mama. Next episode will be about Yo Mama.
As a toy.
Yeah, with boob articulation.
For now, I am TFG and Mike with the asshat Optibotamus and
Steve Megatron Phillips.
thank you for listening. Until next time.
What time?
Who's your daddy?
Who's your daddy and what does he do?
Where does he get those wonderful toys?